We don't want your kind here. Maya Williams freezes. The 19-year-old black freshman had just nailed every flip, every landing perfect. Now Brittany Collins, the blonde team captain, destroys her with 7 words. This isn't a diversity program, sweetie. 20 phones point at Maya's face. Her hands shake as cruel laughter erupts. Brittany's sorority sisters film everything, their voices echoing through Westfield University's gymnasium. Maya's confident smile dies. Her dream crumbles in real time. The other tryout hopefuls look away, too terrified to speak. Brittany steps closer, her voice dropping to a whisper that carries. Know your place. The words slice deep. Maya blinks hard, fighting tears. This elite university suddenly feels like enemy territory. She stands alone while 20 people record her destruction. Run along now, Brittany announces, flicking her diamond bracelet dismissively. Find somewhere you actually belong. But Brittany Collins just targeted the wrong girl. She has no idea whose daughter stands before her. Have you ever watched privilege crush dreams through pure cruelty? What happens next will make bullies everywhere think twice. Westfield University sits like a crown jewel in Boulder, Colorado. Its pristine campus whispers old money and older traditions. Manicured lawns stretch between Gothic buildings where America's elite send their children to network, not just learn. The tuition alone costs more than most families earn annually. Maya Williams doesn't belong here by birth. She belongs by brilliance. The 19-year-old aerospace engineering freshman earned a full academic scholarship after graduating valedictorian from a San Diego public school. Her SAT scores broke school records. Her essay on NASA's Mars mission impressed admissions officers who typically see another trust fund baby bragging about charity work in Guatemala. While her roommates post Instagram stories from Aspen ski trips funded by Daddy's Platinum Card, Maya works 20 hours weekly at the campus bookstore. Every paycheck goes toward textbooks, meal plans, and basic necessities her scholarship doesn't cover. She's calculated that her monthly budget equals what some classmates spend on weekend shopping sprees. Her small dorm room tells the complete story. No designer furniture or daddy-funded decorations. No fresh flowers delivered weekly or care packages filled with organic snacks. Just NASA posters covering cinder-block walls, advanced calculus textbooks stacked like building blocks, and a single framed photo of a man in military dress uniform. The image shows broad shoulders decorated with ribbons across his chest, but shadows strategically obscure his face. Only his hands are clearly visible strong, calloused from years of intensive training. Dad's serving overseas, Maya tells her curious roommate when pressed for details. Classified position in the Navy. Can't discuss specifics, operational security. Her roommate, a senator's daughter, nods with bored understanding. Military families are common enough in her social circle, though usually officers' children attend private academies, not public schools, requiring scholarships. Maya's mother, Sarah, calls twice weekly from their modest San Diego apartment. A pediatric nurse at Children's Hospital, she works double shifts to maintain their household while her husband serves extended deployments. Their conversations always follow familiar patterns. How are your classes, baby girl? Organic chemistry is challenging, but Professor Martinez says I have natural intuition for molecular structures. My aerospace engineering advisor thinks I'm graduate school material. Your father would be so proud. He always said you inherited his analytical mind and my stubborn determination. When is he coming home? Sarah's pause stretches longer each time. Soon, sweetheart. His current assignment is complex, but he calls when he can. Ask about your grades constantly. Maya's academic record speaks volumes. Perfect attendance, despite working 20 hours weekly. 4.0 GPA across advanced STEM courses that destroy most students' confidence. Already catching professors' attention with innovative approaches to complex problems. Her aerospace engineering advisor calls her NASA material and privately discusses summer internship possibilities at Johnson Space Center. But academic excellence means absolutely nothing to Brittany Collins. The 20-year-old junior rules Westfield's intricate social hierarchy with surgical precision. President of Kappa Alpha Phi sorority, she commands loyalty through strategic combinations of fear, social exclusion, and her father's substantial checkbook. Her off-campus luxury apartment costs more monthly rent than Maya's entire annual scholarship covers. Brittany learned manipulation early from observing her parents' strategic social climbing. Every friendship serves a purpose. Every slight gets remembered. Every favor comes with unspoken expectations for future returns. Her power stems from one unshakable source: Richard Collins. Brittany's father built Rocky Mountain Defense Systems, from a small construction crew into Colorado's largest defense contractor. His company logo appears on half the major construction projects around Boulder. Government contracts worth tens of millions flow through his offices annually. More importantly for Westfield, his philanthropic donations keep the Board of Trustees extremely satisfied. The Collins family donated the new library wing, the upgraded athletic facilities, and the prestigious business school lecture hall bearing their name. Richard Collins chairs the fundraising committee that generated $20 million for campus improvements last year. When Collins speaks, university administrators listen with religious attention. Brittany learned early that money doesn't just talk. It screams so loudly it drowns out every other voice in the room. The cheerleading team represents her personal kingdom, carefully curated over 3 years of strategic control. For 15 years, it remained predominantly white, blonde, and wealthy. Each member's family contributes substantially to university fundraising efforts. Coach Amanda Peterson, a former college cheerleader herself, desperately wants progressive change but lives in constant fear of losing her position. Tradition matters deeply here, Brittany reminds Peterson during private conversations. My family has invested significant resources maintaining these standards. Consistency in team composition reflects institutional values. The unspoken threat hangs heavy as storm clouds. Cross the Collins family, lose your job, find yourself blacklisted throughout Colorado's tight-knit athletic community. Dean Robert Harrison operates under identical pressure. The career administrator has watched Richard Collins's influence expand methodically for 2 decades. When Collins expresses concerns about university policies, changes happen immediately. Federal research grants and donor relationships keep Harrison's office functioning smoothly. Maya's arrival disrupts this carefully maintained ecosystem like a stone through glass. Her scholarship threatens the comfortable narrative that only wealthy students deserve Westfield's exceptional opportunities. Her academic success exposes the mediocrity that inherited privilege often protects. Worst of all, her confident presence suggests meaningful change might actually be possible. Some students notice the disruption immediately. Tyler Rodriguez, a Latino pre-med student, becomes Maya's study partner through a random chemistry lab assignment. His quiet intelligence matches her determined focus perfectly. They spend hours working through molecular equations while discussing their shared experiences as scholarship students. "You're brave for trying cheerleading," he mentions after hearing about tryouts. "Brave? It's just athletics." Tyler glances around the empty laboratory, then leans closer conspiratorially. The Collins family. They have long memories and longer reach throughout this university. Jessica Wright, a black sophomore majoring in political science, issues more direct warnings. She finds Maya studying alone in the library during her 3rd week, surrounded by aerospace engineering textbooks that would intimidate most graduate students. "Girl, you need to be extremely careful," Jessica whispers, sliding into the adjacent chair while scanning for eavesdroppers. "This place systematically destroys people like us if we're not incredibly strategic." "What exactly do you mean?" Jessica's eyes dart around the empty study area before continuing. "Last year, a brilliant black girl tried rushing Kappa Alpha Phi. Honor roll student, pre-law major, perfect recommendation letters. Suddenly, her financial aid got randomly reviewed, and her work-study position disappeared due to budget restructuring. Pure coincidence, right?" Maya's stomach tightens, but her voice maintains steady composure. "I'm here on academic merit, full scholarship based on test scores and grades." That's exactly what she believed, too. The warning proves prophetic sooner than anyone expects. Maya approaches Coach Peterson's office 3 days after tryouts. The hallway smells like disinfectant and broken dreams. Through the glass door, she watches Peterson shuffling papers with obvious discomfort. "Coach, could we discuss the team selection?" Peterson doesn't look up immediately. When she finally raises her head, her eyes carry the weight of someone who's compromised their principles too many times. "Maya, please sit down. I scored highest in every category: tumbling, dance technique, stunts, even the written exam about team history. What am I missing?" Peterson's hands fidget with a pen, clicking it repeatedly. The selection process considers multiple factors beyond pure athletic ability, such as team chemistry, financial contributions to the program, alumni expectations, legacy considerations. Each word sounds rehearsed, like she's practiced this speech in the mirror. Maya leans forward. "Which of those factors disqualifies me specifically?" The clicking stops. Peterson finally meets her eyes. "This is a complicated situation, Maya. Perhaps next semester—" "Coach, with respect, I've seen the selected team practice. 3 girls can barely execute a proper cartwheel. Jenny Morrison fell during basic tumbling yesterday. Yet somehow they demonstrate superior team chemistry?" Peterson's shoulders sag. "Maya, you're an exceptional athlete. But this program operates within certain limits, parameters, expectations from donors, parents, administration. I wish things were different." "Parameters based on what criteria exactly?" The silence stretches uncomfortably. Peterson's phone buzzes with a text message. She glances at the screen and visibly pales. "I'm sorry, Maya. The decision is final." Maya stands slowly, processing the rejection that has nothing to do with her abilities. "I understand, Coach. Thank you for your honesty." As she reaches the door, Peterson calls out softly, "Maya, you're talented enough for any team in the country. Don't let this place make you doubt that." But Maya's already walking away, her mind spinning with frustration and determination. That evening, she reviews footage from tryouts on her phone. Her routine flows flawlessly, every movement sharp, every landing perfect. She posts side-by-side videos comparing her performance to the selected athletes. The difference is obvious to anyone with eyes. Her TikTok caption reads, "When merit isn't enough, Westfield University Cheerleading Tryouts 2025. You decide what's fair." Within hours, the video explodes across social media. Comments pour in from students nationwide sharing similar experiences. The view count climbs past 50,000, then 100,000. "This is exactly what happened at my school. Sue them! This is discrimination. That blonde girl looks like every privileged bully ever." But Maya doesn't celebrate the viral support. She knows what comes next. The phone call arrives Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Dean Harrison's secretary speaks with professional coldness. "Miss Williams, Dean Harrison requests your immediate presence in his office. This is regarding a disciplinary matter." Maya's stomach drops. She dresses carefully, choosing professional attire that commands respect. Walking across campus, she notices stares from other students. Some offer supportive nods. Others whisper behind her back. Harrison's office reeks of old leather and older power. Diplomas cover the walls like shields. The dean sits behind an enormous desk, his expression carefully neutral. "Miss Williams, thank you for coming." "Dean Harrison, we need to discuss your recent social media activity." Maya maintains steady eye contact. "My TikTok account?" Board member Richard Collins has filed a formal complaint alleging cyberbullying and defamation against student athletes, specifically his daughter, Brittany Collins. "I posted factual performance footage from official tryouts." Harrison slides a document across his desk. "According to university policy, sharing videos of other students without consent constitutes harassment. Publishing content that could damage their reputations crosses into cyberbullying territory." Maya reads the disciplinary form with growing disbelief. Academic probation, mandatory social media deletion, community service hours, a permanent mark on her academic record. Sir, I shared objective evidence of discriminatory practices. Truth can be subjectively interpreted, Miss Williams. One person's evidence becomes another person's attack. So documenting discrimination makes me the bully? Harrison's discomfort is obvious, but his voice stays firm. You have 24 hours to remove all content and issue a public apology. Failure to comply results in suspension. Maya signs the form with trembling hands, knowing her dreams just got weaponized against her. But she has no idea that someone very dangerous has been watching her social media posts. Maya deletes her TikTok video at midnight, watching her viral moment of truth disappear into digital silence. The view count had reached 200,000 before she pressed delete. Comments from students nationwide sharing identical stories vanish with it. She stares at her phone screen showing 0 notifications. The silence feels like suffocation. Within hours, Brittany's Kappa Alpha Phi sorority launches their coordinated assault. The attack comes from multiple angles, each strike carefully calculated for maximum damage. Tuesday morning brings whispered conversations that stop when Maya approaches. Girls who previously smiled now study their phones intensely. The campus coffee shop falls silent as she enters, then erupts in hushed discussions after she leaves. Did you see her TikTok before it got taken down? My dad says people like that always play the victim card. She's probably here on affirmative action anyway. Jessica Wright finds Maya eating lunch alone in the engineering building cafeteria, far from the main dining halls where Brittany's influence spreads like poison. Girl, they're coming for you hard, Jessica whispers, sliding into the opposite chair. Brittany's telling everyone you're a professional victim who weaponizes race for sympathy. Maya's sandwich tastes like cardboard. Let them talk. It's more than talk. They're coordinating through group chats, spreading rumors systematically. Someone posted screenshots claiming you threatened violence against Brittany. That's completely false. Truth doesn't matter when the Collins family controls the narrative. By Wednesday, the isolation becomes suffocating. Maya's study groups suddenly become full when she tries joining. Her lab partners request schedule changes. Even professors who previously encouraged her participation seem distant, distracted. Professor Martinez approaches after the organic chemistry lecture, his voice carefully neutral. Maya, several students have expressed concerns about your attitude lately. Perhaps we should discuss your academic focus. My attitude, sir? Some classmates feel you're becoming confrontational, disruptive to classroom dynamics. Maya's chest tightens. Which specific behaviors concern them? Martinez avoids her eyes. Just something to consider. Academic success requires both intellectual ability and social integration. The message is clear. Conform or fail. Thursday brings academic sabotage disguised as accidents. Maya's semester-defining aerospace engineering project disappears from the secure laboratory overnight. Months of calculations, prototype designs, and research data gone. The project represents 40% of her final grade and her primary qualification for NASA internship applications. She reports the theft to campus security immediately. Officer Davis, a middle-aged man with kind eyes, listens sympathetically while taking notes. Any idea who might want to damage your work? I have suspicions, but no proof. We'll review security footage from the engineering building. Friday morning brings disappointing news. Davis calls Maya to his office, his expression apologetic. The security cameras experienced technical difficulties between midnight and 4 a.m. Thursday. Complete footage corruption during that exact time frame. Maya's hands clench into fists. That's remarkably convenient timing. I agree it's suspicious. Unfortunately, without evidence, we can't pursue charges. What about backup files from the lab computers? Also corrupted. It says it's an unprecedented system failure. Maya understands the message perfectly. Someone with significant influence orchestrated this destruction with military precision. Her lab supervisor, Dr. Peterson, offers hollow sympathy mixed with victim blaming. Maya, perhaps you should have backed up your work more carefully. Academic responsibility includes protecting your materials. The lab has secure storage protocols specifically designed to prevent this situation. Systems fail. Students must adapt. Without her project, Maya faces failing the course. Failing means losing her scholarship. Losing her scholarship means losing everything. Friday afternoon destroys her financial stability. The campus bookstore manager, Mrs. Rodriguez, calls Maya into her cramped office behind towers of textbooks. Maya, I'm sorry, but we're restructuring work-study positions. Budget cuts require eliminating several student jobs. Mine specifically? Rodriguez fidgets with paperwork, unable to maintain eye contact. The decision came from the administration. Nothing personal. Maya recognizes the lie immediately. Her position gets eliminated while other students keep theirs. No explanations offered, no alternatives suggested. Without her 20-hour weekly income, she can't afford meal plans or textbooks. Her carefully balanced budget collapses like a house built on sand. Saturday brings the cruelest blow of all. Maya discovers her dorm room door covered in graffiti written in permanent marker. Know your place, sprawled across the white surface in thick black letters. Her roommate pretends to sleep while Maya scrubs desperately with cleaning supplies borrowed from the janitor's closet. The words fade but remain visible like scars on her door and her dignity. Sunday's isolation becomes complete. Tyler approaches her in the library, his expression conflicted and apologetic. Maya, I can't study with you anymore. What happened? My pre-med advisor suggested I focus on students who share my academic priorities. He mentioned that association with controversial figures could affect medical school recommendations. Maya's heart breaks a little more. I understand. Tyler walks away without looking back, leaving her completely alone among thousands of students. Even Coach Peterson abandons her. Maya receives an email Monday morning requesting her presence in Peterson's office. The coach sits rigidly behind her desk, a formal letter prepared. Maya, I need you to sign this character reference for your academic file. Maya reads the document with growing horror. Peterson describes her as academically capable but socially disruptive, with difficulty integrating into team environments, and tendency toward confrontational behavior when facing constructive criticism. Coach, this isn't accurate. It reflects my professional observations about your interaction with our program. You're destroying my reputation to protect yours. Peterson's voice hardens. Sign the document, or I'll submit a more detailed negative assessment. Maya signs with shaking hands, watching another bridge burn behind her. By Tuesday, her mother's phone calls became her only lifeline. Baby girl, you sound exhausted. I'm fine, Mom, just adjusting to college life. Sarah's nurse instincts detect the lie immediately. Maya Williams, don't you dare lie to me. What's happening up there? It's complicated. Some social drama with privileged students who don't like competition. Social drama? Honey, you sound like someone broke your spirit. Maya's voice cracks slightly. Maybe I don't belong here after all. Don't you dare say that. You earned your place through merit. No pampered rich girl can take that away from you. But Mom, they're not just taking away my social life. They're destroying my academic future, my scholarship, everything I've worked for. Sarah's pause stretches longer than usual. Maya, baby, I think it's time. Time for what? Time to call your father. Mom, he's on a classified mission. I can't bother him with college drama. Sweetheart, this isn't a drama. This is warfare, and your father specializes in winning wars. That evening, Maya sits on her dorm room steps, staring at her phone. Her father's contact shows his last message from 3 weeks ago. Proud of you always. Stay strong. Her fingers hover over the call button. Wednesday brings the breaking point. The homecoming assembly fills Westfield's auditorium with excited energy. Maya sits alone in the back row, invisible among celebrating students. Brittany takes the microphone as cheerleading captain, her voice carrying across the crowd. I want to dedicate our homecoming performance to all students who truly understand and embody Westfield's values of tradition, excellence, and integrity. The crowd erupts in applause. Maya feels every word like a physical blow. Brittany continues with a smile that could cut glass. Some people try to tear down our traditions, but we remain united in protecting what makes Westfield special. More applause. Students around Maya nod approvingly, completely unaware they're celebrating her systematic destruction. Maya stands quietly and walks toward the exit. No one notices her leaving. Outside the auditorium, she finally makes the call. Her father's phone rings once before his familiar voice answers. Even across continents, his presence feels like a shield against the world. Maya, what's wrong? Dad, I need you to come home. They're trying to destroy everything I've worked for, and I don't know how to fight back anymore. Commander Marcus Williams listens to his daughter's voice break across encrypted military satellite connections. His jaw tightens as she describes each calculated attack on her dignity, her academics, her future. Maya, listen to me carefully. You're not fighting alone anymore. But Dad, your mission. My daughter is my most important mission. Always. Maya closes her eyes, finally feeling hope for the first time in weeks. I'm coming home, baby girl. And when I arrive, everyone who hurt you will understand exactly what they've done. Monday morning brings unexpected chaos to Westfield University. Students check their phones frantically, sharing screenshots of an emergency email sent at 6 a.m. Mandatory all-university assembly, attendance required. Distinguished guest speaker, addressing institutional values and leadership excellence. Dean Harrison's message provides no additional details, creating buzz across campus. Students speculate wildly during breakfast, their theories ranging from celebrity visits to major donor announcements. The timing seems random, disrupting carefully planned class schedules without explanation. Brittany Collins sits smugly in the Kappa Alpha Phi House dining room, surrounded by her sorority sisters. Her diamond bracelet catches morning sunlight streaming through expensive windows as she scrolls through Instagram stories from weekend parties in Aspen. Probably another boring alumnus bragging about their success, she announces, while applying lip gloss with practiced precision. Maybe someone's daddy donated another building and wants recognition. Her followers giggle appreciatively, still high from last week's successful destruction of Maya Williams. The scholarship girl has become invisible on campus, exactly as intended. Victory tastes sweet when served with organic AK bowls and freshly pressed juice. Did you see her eating alone in the engineering building again? Jessica Miller, a sophomore pledge seeking acceptance, asks with practiced cruelty. Pathetic, Brittany responds without looking up from her phone. Some people never learn their place in the natural order. Darwin would understand. Her sorority sisters laugh at the reference, their privileged education finally serving a purpose beyond securing trust fund access. They've systematically isolated Maya through coordinated social warfare, and the results exceed their expectations. My father says people like that always blame others for their failures, adds Sarah Peterson, daughter of a Supreme Court clerk. Personal responsibility doesn't exist in their victim mentality worldview. Meanwhile, Maya sits in her dorm room, staring at textbooks she can no longer afford to replace. Her missing project means automatic failure in aerospace engineering. Her lost job means skipping meals to stretch her remaining budget. Her academic probation means constant scrutiny from administration seeking reasons to eliminate her scholarship entirely. But something fundamental has changed in her demeanor over the weekend. The defeated posture has straightened into quiet confidence. Her eyes carry new determination instead of the despair that characterized recent weeks. She moves with a purpose that suggests hidden knowledge. Tyler Rodriguez knocks hesitantly on her door, guilt written across his face like a confession seeking absolution. Maya? Can we talk? She opens the door calmly, her composure unnaturally steady. Of course. I'm sorry about abandoning you last week. My pre-med advisor threatened my medical school recommendations if I stayed associated with the situation surrounding you. Maya nods with understanding that seems too mature for 19 years. You protected your future. I don't blame you for choosing survival over solidarity. You seem different today, more centered. Like you know something the rest of us don't. Maya's smile contains secrets that would terrify her enemies if they understood. I had a long conversation with my father this weekend. He reminded me exactly who I am and where I come from. Is he coming for graduation ceremonies? Maya's smile widens mysteriously. He's coming much sooner than that. Today, actually. The auditorium fills rapidly as students, faculty, and staff flood through entrance doors under administrative pressure. Attendance requirements brought no exceptions, creating unusual energy as diverse university populations mix involuntarily. Maya enters quietly, choosing a strategic seat near the back where she can observe without drawing unwanted attention. Her phone buzzes with an encrypted text message that makes her pulse quicken. In position. Objective acquired. Watch for my signal. Love you, baby girl. Dad. Dean Harrison takes the podium at exactly 10 a.m., his usual confidence replaced by visible nervousness that sharp observers notice immediately. His hands shake slightly as he adjusts the microphone, and sweat beads form on his forehead despite comfortable auditorium temperature. Good morning, Westfield community. Today we're honored to host a distinguished speaker addressing leadership principles, institutional integrity, and organizational accountability measures. The crowd settles into polite attention, expecting another forgettable presentation about alumni achievements or donation campaign launches. Students check social media discreetly, while faculty review lecture notes for classes being postponed. Harrison continues with obvious discomfort, reading from prepared remarks that sound stilted and unnatural. Our speaker brings decades of experience in high-stakes organizational leadership, ethical decision-making under pressure, and accountability implementation in complex institutional environments. Several board members shift uncomfortably in the VIP section, sensing undertones they can't quite identify. Please welcome our distinguished guest. The auditorium doors open with military precision that cuts through the casual academic atmosphere like a blade through silk. A figure emerges that instantly commands every eye in the room through pure physical presence and undeniable authority. Commander Marcus Williams enters wearing full Navy dress blues that transform the entire space into something approaching a courtroom. His chest displays ribbons that tell stories of courage few civilians could comprehend. Bronze Star with Combat V, Purple Heart with Gold Star, Navy Cross, Combat Action Ribbon, Presidential Unit Citation. His bearing radiates authority that makes grown men straighten unconsciously, while women hold their breath in recognition of genuine power rather than inherited privilege. Maya's breath catches despite knowing he was coming. Seeing her father in full military regalia amid this privileged academic environment feels surreal, like watching two different worlds collide in slow motion. Brittany's confident expression begins cracking as she studies the imposing figure approaching the podium with measured steps. Something about his facial structure, the set of his jaw, the intelligent eyes seems disturbingly familiar, triggering uncomfortable recognition she can't quite place. Her sorority sisters stop their whispered commentary, recognizing instinctively that they're witnessing something far beyond their usual experience with wealth-based authority. Commander Williams reaches the microphone and surveys the audience with eyes that have seen combat in classified locations around the globe. When he speaks, his voice carries the weight of command authority earned through 20 years of life-or-death decision-making. I am Commander Marcus Williams, Naval Special Warfare Development Group. Murmurs ripple through the crowd like electricity. Students frantically pull out phones to Google his unit designation, and the search results make their faces pale with sudden understanding. SEAL team operations, classified missions, counterterrorism expertise. For those unfamiliar with military terminology, I train and lead Navy SEALs in operations that protect American national security interests worldwide. The auditorium falls completely silent. Even Brittany's sorority sisters stop their constant chatter, recognizing they're in the presence of someone far beyond their privileged social experience. Commander Williams continues with methodical precision that suggests this presentation has been carefully planned. I oversee personnel who undergo the most rigorous selection and training processes in military history. Physical conditioning that breaks 70% of candidates. mental challenges that expose character flaws under extreme pressure, ethical evaluations that eliminate anyone who demonstrates abuse of power or discriminatory behavior. The projection screen behind him displays his service record with devastating clarity. 20 years, special operations, multiple classified deployments across 3 combat theaters, current Pentagon advisor on military ethics and diversity integration initiatives, recipient of the Navy Distinguished Service Medal. I hold security clearances that allow me to brief presidents on sensitive national security matters. My operational recommendations influence billion-dollar defense budgets and strategic military policy decisions affecting global stability. Richard Collins shifts uncomfortably in the VIP section, his business instincts suddenly screaming warnings about where this presentation might be heading. My current assignment involves advising senior military leadership on diversity integration, bias elimination, and equal opportunity enforcement across all service branches. Commander Williams pauses, allowing the implications to settle over his audience like morning fog. But today I'm here in a fundamentally different capacity. The silence becomes oppressive as 2,000 people hold their breath collectively. I am also Maya Williams's father. The revelation detonates like a flashbang grenade in the center of the auditorium. Every head whips toward Maya, who sits calmly in the back row, her expression finally readable as quiet pride mixed with anticipated vindication. Brittany's face drains of color so rapidly that her foundation becomes visible against her suddenly pale skin. The implications crash over her like a tsunami, destroying every assumption about power dynamics that has governed her entire existence. Her sorority sisters exchange terrified glances, suddenly understanding that their coordinated harassment campaign has targeted someone with family connections to the most elite military unit in American history. Commander Williams allows the shock to reverberate before continuing his methodical dismantling of institutional complacency. Miss Brittany Collins, please stand. The command carries military authority that brooks no disobedience, delivered with the tone used to address subordinates who have violated direct orders under combat conditions. Brittany rises on shaking legs that barely support her trembling form, 2,000 pairs of eyes focused on her visible terror. Her diamond bracelet feels like a handcuff as she realizes her privileged protection has evaporated completely. You informed my daughter that she doesn't represent your university's image. You orchestrated systematic harassment campaigns designed to destroy her academic future through coordinated psychological warfare. You violated her constitutional rights to equal treatment under federal civil rights legislation. His voice never rises above conversational level, but every word carries devastating precision that cuts through pretense like military-grade equipment through civilian defenses. In the United States military, we have specific terminology for this conduct. Conduct unbecoming an officer. Leaders who demonstrate discriminatory behavior based on race, gender, or socioeconomic status face immediate removal from command positions and potential court-martial proceedings under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Brittany tries to speak, but no words emerge from her constricted throat as she faces accountability for the first time in her privileged existence. Commander Williams continues his systematic demolition of institutional protection. Ms. Collins, you operate under the assumption that your family's financial influence grants immunity from legal and moral consequences. You've weaponized administrative processes against a 19-year-old student whose only offense was academic excellence while black. The audience watches in stunned silence as inherited privilege meets professional accountability in real time, creating a masterclass in power dynamics that no textbook could adequately capture. Allow me to share some operational intelligence about consequences in the adult world. The screen displays evidence that makes the auditorium collectively gasp. Security footage recovered through military intelligence networks shows Brittany's associates vandalizing Maya's door at 2:47 a.m. Digital forensics traces the harassment campaign through encrypted social media networks with timestamps and IP addresses. Financial records reveal Collins' family donations strategically timed with discriminatory administrative decisions. Every attack on my daughter has been documented, analyzed, and prepared for federal prosecution under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Richard Collins attempts to stand, his face flushed with indignation, but Commander Williams' gaze freezes him in place like a deer caught in headlights. Mr. Collins, your company Rocky Mountain Defense Systems currently holds $47 million in classified Navy contracts requiring the highest security clearances. Collins' face goes ashen as he realizes the complete scope of his vulnerability. Companies that demonstrate institutional bias against federally protected classes face immediate contract suspension pending comprehensive Department of Defense investigation. Your business relationships with defense contractors nationwide would be subject to thorough reevaluation. The threat hangs in the air like smoke from a controlled detonation. Commander Williams turns back to Brittany, who looks ready to collapse under the weight of genuine consequences for the first time in her privileged existence. Miss Collins, you have exactly one opportunity for redemption before this situation escalates beyond university disciplinary measures. Brittany finds her voice, but it emerges as a terrified whisper. What do you need me to do? You will issue a comprehensive public apology acknowledging your discriminatory conduct and its impact on my daughter's academic experience. You will personally ensure all of Maya's academic materials are fully restored through whatever means necessary. You will submit to mandatory bias counseling and perform 200 hours of community service focused on civil rights education. His voice drops to barely audible levels that somehow carry to every corner of the auditorium. Alternatively, my colleagues at the Department of Justice can explain federal hate crime legislation and Title IX violations in considerable legal detail. The choice isn't really a choice at all. Within 24 hours, Brittany posts a tearful video confession across all social media platforms. Her carefully crafted image crumbles as she admits to orchestrating systematic harassment based on racial prejudice. Comments pour in from students nationwide sharing similar experiences, creating a viral movement against campus discrimination. Her sorority sisters distance themselves immediately, suddenly claiming they never supported her behavior and were secretly uncomfortable with her methods. Social media posts from the previous weeks disappear as they scramble to avoid association with documented bigotry. Coach Amanda Peterson approaches Maya personally with a formal apology letter and immediate reinstatement offer. Maya, I want you to know that I compromised my principles under administrative pressure. That doesn't excuse my behavior, but I hope you'll consider rejoining our program. Maya considers the offer carefully before responding with grace that impresses everyone present. Coach, I appreciate your honesty. I'll accept regular team membership, but I want to earn any leadership positions through merit and teamwork, not sympathy. Peterson nods with genuine respect. That's exactly the attitude we need on this team. Dean Harrison implements sweeping policy changes within 48 hours, creating anonymous bias reporting systems, mandatory diversity training for all personnel, and independent review boards for disciplinary actions. The speed of implementation reflects his terror at potential federal oversight. Maya's aerospace engineering project mysteriously reappears in the laboratory with a note from IT claiming they discovered backup files during routine system maintenance. Her grades are corrected immediately, and her scholarship is renewed with additional research opportunities that weren't previously available. Dr. Peterson, the lab supervisor, approaches Maya with obvious embarrassment. Maya, I want to personally apologize for questioning your academic responsibility. Your project has been restored, and I've recommended you for accelerated graduate program consideration. The systematic restoration continues across every aspect of Maya's university experience. Her work-study position at the bookstore is reinstated with increased hours and higher pay. Mrs. Rodriguez explains with genuine remorse that budget restructuring has suddenly freed up additional funding for student employment. The graffiti on Maya's door gets professionally removed by facilities management, who also install a security camera to prevent future incidents. Her academic probation disappears from university records as if it never existed. But the most meaningful change comes from an unexpected source. Brittany approaches Maya privately in the library during her first week back on campus after mandatory counseling sessions. Her designer clothes have been replaced with simple, appropriate attire that suggests genuine introspection rather than performative humility. Maya, I know my apology can't undo the harm I caused, but I need you to understand something. Maya looks up from her advanced propulsion systems textbook, curious about this dramatically different version of her former tormentor. I was raised to believe that my family's wealth was proof of our superiority, that people like you were threats to what we deserved by birthright. I know now how poisonous and wrong that thinking was. Her voice carries genuine shame rather than practiced manipulation. I've started volunteering at the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, learning about the real impact of discrimination. I want to use whatever privilege I have left to fight the system that created me. Maya considers the offer carefully, recognizing authentic remorse when she sees it. Brittany, I can offer forgiveness, but trust must be earned through consistent actions over time, not grand gestures. I understand. Thank you for giving me the chance to try. Tyler Rodriguez returns to study sessions with Maya, bringing along other students who previously avoided her due to social pressure. Their chemistry lab becomes a diverse group focused on academic excellence rather than social hierarchies. Maya, I learned something important about courage from watching you handle all this, Tyler admits during a late study session. You never compromised your dignity, even when they tried to destroy everything else. Maya smiles with hard-earned wisdom. My father taught me that integrity isn't about what you do when people are watching. It's about who you remain when they try to make you disappear. The following Friday brings ultimate vindication. At the homecoming football game, Maya leads the cheerleading squad in a routine choreograph to highlight every member's individual strengths rather than enforcing conformity. The crowd erupts in thunderous support as her story has become campus legend. Commander Williams watches proudly from the VIP section beside Sarah, both parents beaming as their daughter claims her rightful place through talent, perseverance, and unshakable character. Maya's social media accounts gain verification check marks as her story inspires students nationwide to document and fight discrimination with dignity and strength. But the victory extends beyond personal vindication. Westfield University implements the most comprehensive anti-discrimination policies in Colorado higher education. Anonymous reporting systems handle dozens of complaints monthly, creating systematic change that protects vulnerable students across all demographics. Richard Collins faces federal investigation into his company's employment practices, leading to industry-wide reforms in defense contracting diversity requirements. Most importantly, Maya's academic trajectory accelerates beyond her wildest expectations. NASA Johnson Space Center offers her a summer internship position typically reserved for graduate students. Her research into advanced propulsion systems attracts attention from aerospace companies seeking innovative young talent. Maya, your resilience under pressure demonstrates exactly the qualities we need in future space exploration leaders, her advisor explains, while reviewing internship applications. You've proven that character matters more than privilege in real achievement. 6 months later, Maya stands before another auditorium as student government president, addressing incoming freshmen about belonging, merit, and standing up against injustice. Her father sits in the front row, no longer in military uniform, but wearing the proud expression of someone who raised a daughter capable of changing the world. 1 year later, Maya Williams stands at NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston, wearing the official intern badge she dreamed about since childhood. Her summer research project on advanced ion propulsion systems has caught attention from senior engineers who typically ignore undergraduate contributions. Williams, your calculations on fuel efficiency optimization are graduate-level work, Dr. Sarah Carter, NASA's chief propulsion engineer, tells her during their weekly review meeting. Have you considered fast-tracking to our doctoral partnership program? Maya smiles with quiet confidence earned through surviving systematic discrimination and emerging stronger. Yes, ma'am. My father always said obstacles reveal character, and character determines destiny. Back at Westfield University, fundamental changes continue expanding like ripples from a stone dropped in still water. The anonymous bias reporting system processes 50 complaints monthly, creating accountability where silence previously protected discrimination. Mandatory diversity training has become a model program studied by universities nationwide. Brittany Collins serves her final community service hours at the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, where her transformation from privileged aggressor to genuine advocate has surprised even skeptical staff members. "I used to think equality meant taking something away from me," she reflects during a workshop she now leads for wealthy students learning about privilege and responsibility. "I understand now that justice expands opportunity for everyone, including people who looked like me, but never really knew who they were." Her family's defense contracting business operates under federal diversity compliance monitoring, implementing hiring practices that prioritize merit over connections. The changes have actually improved company performance by attracting talent previously excluded from consideration. Coach Amanda Peterson leads Westfield's most diverse cheerleading team in conference history. 3 of her athletes have earned academic scholarships to prestigious universities, proving that excellence comes in many forms when given authentic opportunities. Maya taught us that real team chemistry comes from respecting each member's unique strengths, Peterson explains to visiting coaches seeking to replicate their success. "Homogeneity isn't unity, it's just comfortable prejudice disguised as tradition." Tyler Rodriguez attends medical school at Harvard, where his research on healthcare disparities has attracted attention from the Centers for Disease Control. His friendship with Maya taught him that courage is contagious when people choose solidarity over self-preservation. Dean Harrison has transformed Westfield's administrative culture by prioritizing student welfare over donor appeasement. Federal funding has increased dramatically as the university demonstrates genuine commitment to equal opportunity rather than performative diversity initiatives. Commander Marcus Williams retired from active duty to serve as Director of Ethics and Leadership at the Pentagon, where his daughter's experience informs policy protecting military families from discrimination. His final mission proved that sometimes the most important battles happen in conference rooms and courtrooms rather than combat zones. Maya's story has inspired documentary filmmakers, civil rights organizations, and educational reformers working to eliminate institutional bias from American higher education. Her TikTok account reaches millions of young people facing similar challenges, offering both hope and practical strategies for fighting injustice through resilience and strategic thinking. But Maya measures success differently than viral fame or professional recognition. "The real victory wasn't my father showing up like a superhero," she reflects during her NASA internship presentation to incoming aerospace engineering students. "The real victory was learning I had the strength to endure systematic cruelty without compromising my character or abandoning my dreams." She pauses, looking at faces representing every demographic that American universities serve. "They tried to make me disappear because they feared what my presence represented, that excellence doesn't require privilege, that merit can't be purchased, and that America's future depends on talent from every zip code and background." Her voice carries the quiet authority learned from her father and the hard-won wisdom earned through personal struggle. "Every student deserves to pursue their dreams without facing discrimination based on skin color, family income, or cultural background. Every young person deserves respect as a human being with unlimited potential waiting to be unlocked through education and opportunity." The audience listens with rapt attention as Maya shares the universal truth that connects her experience to their own challenges. Every institution needs people willing to stand up against injustice, even when it's personally costly. Real change happens when ordinary people refuse to accept extraordinary cruelty as normal. Maya's story reminds us that courage comes in many forms. Sometimes it's the quiet dignity of enduring systematic harassment without retaliating. Sometimes it's the willingness to document injustice when others prefer comfortable silence. Sometimes it's having a family who taught you that you belong anywhere your talents can take you. "But here's what I learned from surviving their worst attacks," Maya concludes with a smile that has inspired millions. "You never know whose daughter, son, sister, or brother you're targeting when you choose cruelty over compassion." Her final words echo across the auditorium and through countless social media shares that follow. More importantly, every person has inherent dignity that demands your respect, regardless of their family connections or personal background. We shouldn't need Navy SEAL parents to be treated with basic humanity. If this story moved you, Share it with someone who needs to hear that they belong exactly where their dreams take them. Comment below with your own experiences, fighting discrimination through perseverance and dignity. Like this video if you believe every student deserves the chance to succeed based on character and capability, not privilege and prejudice. Subscribe to Black Voices Uncut for more stories, proving that justice delayed isn't always justice denied. Sometimes it's justice being prepared by people who understand that real power comes from protecting the vulnerable, not exploiting them. Because somewhere out there, another Maya Williams is facing down bullies who have no idea what they've just started. And that's exactly how change begins.
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next Uncut Voice.